NTA International News.
Member states of International Fund for Agricultural Development set to elect new president. UN Deputy Secretary General promises to make Nigeria a priority. Plus, federal government provides sports equipment for 49 public primary schools. Hello there and a warm welcome to NTA International News at this time. My name is Justin Bemonyi. It's glad to have you join us. Federal government is to increase the number of beneficiaries of its Empower and Skill Acquisition programs. Acting President Yemi Oshibanjo, who was speaking at a stakeholders meeting on a sustainable development in Niger Delta, said the federal government will collaborate with Imo State government to ensure the completion of abandoned projects in the state, adding that the government will not take it lightly with any contractor who abandons government projects, especially in the Niger Delta area of the country. He said the federal government is considering the conversion of the Skill Acquisition Center in the state to University of Niger Delta.
I've today directed that all contractors whose projects have been abandoned must return to site forthwith. They must return. And I want to say that all these contracts will be investigated thoroughly. We'll investigate every one of those contracts, and those found to have diverted funds, we will ensure that they are prosecuted and that they are brought to justice. There is a new vision for all of the oil-producing communities of the Niger Delta. It is that new vision that we have been carrying from one oil-producing community to the other. It is now clear that we cannot continue in the way that we've always done. It's not just a new vision, but also a fresh commitment and a renewed spirit of all stakeholders, including states, federal agencies, and oil-bearing communities themselves. Let me lay this out for clarity. The federal government will begin a partnership with the oil-producing states, with the local governments, oil companies, the private sector, and civil society organizations for the rapid development of these communities. An oil intervention communities meeting is to work out what can be done in the short to medium term. There is no way that this new vision will be aborted. And the reason is because it is not dependent for execution entirely on the federal government.
The Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, said the state needs more attention from the federal government in terms of infrastructure and social amenities. He said his administration has embarked on rehabilitation and reconstruction of federal roads in the state, appealing for reimbursement and for the federal government to convert the abandoned Skill Acquisition Center to Niger Delta School for Science and Technology. Member states of the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, are set to appoint the fund's new president. This follows the conclusion of the term of Kanayo Nwaze, a Nigerian national who was the 5th president of IFAD. The governing body of the international organization is currently in Rome to elect the president. Musa Babalu has the details.
International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, is an international organization established in 1978 with the core mandate of investing in rural people, empowering them to reduce poverty, increase food security, improve nutrition, and strengthen resilience. Nigeria is among the member countries of the international body, providing her counterpart funding for the development of agriculture. It is based on this that a Nigerian national, Kanayo Nwaze, was elected in 2009 and re-elected in 2013 for second term as the president of the organization, with last term billed to end in March this year.
As a matter of policy, IFAD spends 50% of its total investment in Africa, currently at roughly 1.1 billion a year. IFAD commits for the next two cycles, 2016 to 2018, 2019 to 2021.
The president of IFAD is elected for 4 years with a 2-term limit of 8 years. In accordance with the agreement establishing IFAD, the Governing Council of IFAD is currently holding an election for the new president that will resume duty on 1st April 2017. 8 candidates, including 3 women, are contesting for the position. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Ogbe, has commended the federal government's plan to introduce modular refineries to replace the illegal refineries in the Niger Delta region of the country. The minister, who gave the commendation in a statement in Abuja, said the plan will give the people of the region a sense of belonging and opportunity to own and protect the facilities and also guarantee peace in the Niger Delta region. He said the plan will enable them earn money directly from the oil industry, create jobs for the teeming youths, and will also help stop the bombing of oil pipelines and facilities. He congratulated the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, for the initiative. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has increased its supply of products across the country in February. Acting NNPC Group Managing Director, Said Mohammed, who chaired an emergency meeting of the corporation, announced that 6 additional cargoes of petrol, 3 additional cargoes of diesel, and 250 trucks load diesel and kerosene from the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries per day. In addition, the corporation has expanded its daily truck load out of petrol, diesel, and kerosene, including weekends. To this end, the monitoring public has been advised not to engage in panic buying, as NNPC has over 32 days sufficiency for petrol and diesel to meet up its demands. A reception was held last night in honor of the newly appointed Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the reception was attended by top government functionaries, politicians, and members of the diplomatic corps. Anthony Forsen reports.
The word congratulations filled the air as guests here converged to be part of the reception in honor of Nigeria's Amina Mohammed. The Minister of Environment, she has just been appointed the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Her colleague in Cabinet and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, said Nigeria is proud of her achievements.
She has been a real star. She has just excelled in every single position that she's been asked to perform in. Has been a real source of pride for this country.
Guests at the occasion took time to extol the sterling qualities of Amina Mohammed and enjoined her to always put Nigeria first in all that she will do at the United Nations. On her part, she assured the guests that she will remain steadfast and committed with Nigeria first in all that she will do.
The journey continues. I hope that I will continue not just to have your prayers, which are the most important, but that you still are reaching out. My door is open. Nigeria has an office on the 38th floor, especially for women, and the way and manner in which we conduct ourselves. Nigeria first, Africa, and the world. Thank you very much.
The Office of the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations is responsible for the running and managing of the secretarial operations and ensure coherence of activities and programs in the United Nations. In Abuja, Anthony Forsen, NTA News.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, is focusing efforts on the prevention of corruption through systems reforms and reduction of opportunity for corruption to thrive in the country. This was at a media parley which also served as a platform to appraise its activities in the year 2016 and make projections for 2017. Olajide Bello reports.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, in fulfillment of its mandate of Section 6B and D of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, is to vigorously pursue systems reform to deliberately and consciously shut the door against illicit activities. In addition, the parley identified the media as a potent force in shaping opinion and behaviors.
While the full weight of the law must be brought against corrupt persons, It is crucial that, in addition, anti-corruption efforts must be focused on prevention through systems reform and reduction of opportunity for corruption.
The media is apparently an agent of social justice, a role that should not be compromised no matter the attraction.
Appraising the activities of the Commission in the year 2016, the ICPC chairman, Ekpo Intar, disclosed that 70 cases were found, 11 convictions secured, and 303 ongoing cases.
So the anti-corruption process of ICPC is meant to address far more reaching economic processes that we expect than just running after people who have caused damage.
He called on the media to leverage on their influence to reorient the society on core values and ethics by paying due attention to corruption prevention. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Federal government has been tasked to adopt a deliberate strategy in promoting tourism in Nigeria. This came up at the unveiling of a book redefining tourism in Nigeria, the real issues and challenges. Oyinaya Kaluoka reports.
Reports by the Travel and Tourism Council show that this sector has generated about $7.2 trillion and 284 million jobs in the global economy in 2015. In 2017, the sector is expected to grow faster than the global economy. While countries like South Africa, Kenya, Morocco, and Gambia have made huge impact in tourism development, Nigeria, blessed with huge tourism potentials, is said to be paying lip service to it.
A $28 trillion worth industry, with Nigeria tapping below sub 0.9%. That is awful.
Do you know of any tourism sites in Nigeria?
No, I don't think so.
The response by these students buttressed the need to change the perception of Nigerians on the importance of tourism, which is what the 16-chapter book hopes to achieve.
Herein lies the need for the nation to pay attention to the message being conveyed in the book by embracing it so that the next generation of youths in the country can drive this untapped area.
This effort must be collective and should attract the best of public-private partnerships. It marks a basis for training future leaders to develop an economic sector different from oil. Getting our youths interested in tourism is what we have at heart.
The book was recommended to secondary and tertiary institutions as well as to tourism, culture, and information agencies in the country.
The message is very, very simple. Tourism is a veritable business in Nigeria that has hardly been touched.
But by the time you read the book, you will discover that a lot of beautiful things about Nigeria that we really don't have any reason whatsoever talking about poverty.
The need to include tourism as a subject in schools was also suggested. Oyinaya Kaluoka, NTA News.
Members of the Female Artists Association of Nigeria say they will continue to use visual arts to tell the Nigerian story as a land of peace, love and opportunities. President of the association, Ngozi Akande, said this when the association paid a visit to the management of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, at the headquarters in Abuja. Olayinka Ojo reports.
Yes, artists have been more expressive beyond the traditional confines of regular arts. The President, Female Artists Association of Nigeria, Ngozi Akande, said the visit is to appreciate the NTA for its support in the projection of visual arts, as well as solicit NTA's support for its 2017 art exhibition scheduled for March in Lagos, with the theme, Be Bold for Change, Women Arise.
When you're talking of the visual art paintings, we paint Nigerian scenes, we use Nigerian culture, we paint, festivals. That is the part of the Nigerian story.
Reiterating that a lot of history, archaeology, science are dependent on artists and creatives, Director General NTA, represented by Executive Director Programs Eugenia Abu, assured the association of NTA's continuous support through its programs and news. She urged members of the association to make their mark in the face of recession and the dwindling oil boom.
Nigerian artists are making great strides, great marks across the world. And the new mantra everywhere is that economies should diversify. The Nigerian economy is so much in need of diversification.
Female Artists Association of Nigeria, with over 1,000 members across the federation, was founded in 2001. In Abuja, Olainka Uju, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, this is the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Stay tuned for more stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us on NTA International News. As part of efforts to appreciate loyal customers for their commitments over the years, the Nigeria Television Authority Properties and Investment Company took time out to reward them. The company appealed for patronage under which loans, affordable housing, vehicles and household items can be sourced at low interest rate. Chiazala Meki has details.
Nigerian Television Authority has been in the forefront of providing quality information and programs to its clientele, a remarkable service that gave birth to NTA Properties Investment Company Limited in 2000, with the mandate of providing comfortable and affordable houses for staff. Coming at a time when most civil servants do not have a house of their own, Director General of NTA, Mohammed Ibn Mohammed, noted that this is very suggestive and assured that maximum cooperation will be given to NTA PIC given its giant strides.
PIC is on the right path. We are hoping that in the next few years, those of us that are gathered here will no more worry about paying our rent. We will now give our best to the development of NTA and for the services of our fatherland.
Executive Director News Shola Atere enumerated the benefits of the scheme and urged all staff to key into the scheme as measures are in place to protect their investments.
When you retire, the cost of the property now, by the time you retire, you probably will get double or triple by then. And you know, it's becoming increasingly difficult for people to be able to put money together on their own to build houses. That's what obtains in advanced countries anyway, because this is like some kind of mortgage.
We have been tested and they have proved that we are trustworthy.
The day provided an opportunity for staff to be rewarded and also keep them abreast of their investments. NTA PIC, apart from recording tremendous success in the area of home ownership and savings scheme, has other products like shelter care, Moneyvest, household and car loans. Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
And Chukunonso Wabeze has reports from the financial sector.
Thanks for joining us on Business News. Former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Obdaya Melafia, has advised the federal government against increase in the interest rate has been peddled in some quarters. He believes that a further stretch of the current 14% interest rate will worsen the hardship Nigerians are facing. Melafia, who said this at a public hearing on the 2017 budget, also called on relevant authorities to intensify efforts at cracking down on the circulation of about 20% of fake naira in the country in order to protect the economy.
Meanwhile, data released Tuesday by the Statistics South Africa indicates that the country's unemployment figure in the fourth quarter of 2016 restricted from its highest level in 13 years. Unemployment stood at 26.5% during the period, down from 27.1% in the third quarter, amounting to 5.781 million people without jobs compared to 5.873 million recorded previously. The office attributed the growth to the activities in the services industry, transport and manufacturing sectors. Let's now take a look at how equities market fared this Tuesday. And that's our package on this segment. I am Chukunonso Nwabueze.
Show of love for one another, irrespective of religious, tribal, creed, and geopolitical differences, is said to be the panacea for peace and growth in any given society. Lack of which, however, may spell doom to the growth and harmonious relationship among the people. In this special report, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu examines the efficacy of love against the backdrop of Valentine, observed by some people.
Love means different things to different people. Obviously, love does not have a universal definition. To some people, love is a relationship between a male and a female for recreation or for illicit affairs, while others think of love beyond the man-woman relation to the context of love as a panacea for peace among society, giving of alms to the needy, show of compassion to the plight and shortcomings of others, as well as respect for the adherence of cultural and religious belief of others.
Love is everything to life in general, because it brings unity.
And if there's love, there will be peace and harmony.
This simply means having affection for one another. That is love for you.
If there's love, there's no way one would take arms against his brother. We take arms against one another because there's no love. And how do we establish that love? We need to trust each other. You cannot love somebody without trusting the person.
Some religious leaders have been speaking on the true origin of love as provided by both Quran and the Bible.
Without love, there won't be any peaceful coexistence. And without love, there won't be understanding. Without love, there won't be rendering of assistance to either people of the same religion or other religion or other tribes. Therefore, that's why Islam or the Quran encourages that people should love one another.
As we move about, I relate with people in our communities, in our families, in our neighborhood, in our schools, in our offices. There are people wounded, bleeding, and dying. There are people in need of our help, in need of our assistance. And irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of their religion, as Christians, what is expected of us is to show love to everyone.
To celebrate the St. Valentine's Day celebration, what should be the focus of the Lovers' Day celebration? Experts say both religions and community leaders must emphasize the need for people to exhibit true love for one another, irrespective of differences, for the peace, growth, and eventually realizing egalitarian society. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed his sadness over the death of Hajia Tasala Fika, the wife of former head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Adamu Fika, Wazirin Fika. In a telephone call from London to Dr. Fika, the president said the loss of such a devoted wife of many years was particularly a painful and challenging moment in the life of any husband. President Buhari explained that as a family man himself, he understood the depth of pain Dr. Fika was going through at this time, having lost a great and invaluable companion of many years, and that the deceased was one of the most devoted wives who was the pride of the nuclear family. While praying to Allah to grant the deceased eternal rest in peace, the president also wished Dr. Fika the fortitude to bear this enormous loss. And for reports from other parts of the world, here is Oku Ekpeyong.
We begin
from Africa, where United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson says he is very pleased the West African state is rejoining the Commonwealth. His visit, the first to the Gambia by British Foreign Secretary, comes weeks after longtime ruler Yahya Jammeh went into exile after losing elections. Mr. Jammeh took the Gambia out of the Commonwealth in 2013, calling it a neo-colonial institution. Meanwhile, a military court in Somalia's semi-autonomous region of Puntland has sentenced 7 suspected militant Islamists to death for killing several top regional officials. Reports say some of the men accused of being members of the Al-Qaeda-affiliated Al-Shabaab group shouted, "We are innocent," before the sentence was handed down by the court in Bosaso City. The White House has announced that President Donald Trump's National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn, has resigned over his contacts with Russia. Mr. Flynn is alleged to have discussed U.S. sanctions with the Russian ambassador before Mr. Trump took office. He is said to have misled officials about the conversation. Earlier, U.S. media reported that the Justice Department had warned the White House about the contacts late last month. Oku Ekpayong, NTA News.
And to sports now, 49 public primary schools receive sports equipment from federal government as Indomitable Lions of Cameroon boast of taking 4 points from 2-legged match against Super Eagles. Tamara Ibewe has details on our sports update.
49 selected primary schools in Ebonyi State received world-class sports equipment from the federal government, courtesy of the National Sports Lottery Fund. The equipment distributed covered football, volleyball, basketball, as well as judo and karate. The presentation of equipment to 2,000 schools nationwide is a testament of the present administration to promote grassroots sports. President of the Nigeria Cricket Federation, Emeka Onyama, is confident that the nation will give a good account of itself when this year's array of global competitions go underway, beginning with the World T20 tournament in South Africa in April.
We have a lot of competition for the females. In April, our boys are in South Africa to compete in the World T20 tournament, leading to qualification for the World Cup. So there's a whole lot.
Following the success at the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations in Gabon, the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon are now talking tough ahead of the crucial World Cup encounter with the Super Eagles of Nigeria in August. Assistant coach of the team, Sven van der Broek, has revealed that the newly crowned African champions will pick at least 4 points when they play Nigeria in both World Cup qualifiers. And in tennis, Thomas Berdych of Czech Republic has advanced to the next round of the ABN AMRO World Tennis Championship in Rotterdam. Berdych outplayed Marius Copil of Romania 7-6, 6-4. With sports update, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
Next is a quick check on Wednesday's weather prospect for Nigeria and some cities of the world. And that was the news. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Justin Bemunyi.